We need one more speaker before the presentation of the trophy, and that is Cale's coach, Greg Carvel. Came to UMass in 2016, took over a program that was in need of repair, and in fact had just 3 winning seasons before his arrival. And congratulations to UMass on a great year of success. Get your first Frozen Four, and you've got your first Hobey Baker winner. Congratulations. Come on up and say a few words about your great Hobey winner, Cale Makar.
Thank you. I heard there was a coach's ring, too. When do I get that? Maybe we should start that. It's a real honor for me to be here. It's great to see Cale and his family again. A bonus for me is someone told me that after this event, we go to Herbie's and hang out and see all memorabilia from the Olympics in 1980. And a little known fact is I grew up in northern New York, an hour and a half from Lake Placid, and I was at the Miracle on Ice. And it's, my dad snuck me in. We didn't pay for the tickets. Don't tell anyone that part. But it was the first of many, many great hockey memories that I've had. So looking forward to that. So I've been a head coach at the college level for 7 years, and this year the amount of requests from national media outlets for interviews, I had more this year than I did in the previous 6 years combined. And obviously 2 reasons: the UMass hockey team's success and the individual success of Cale Makar. So I've had plenty of opportunity to praise Cale. I said, ad nauseum, how great of a kid he is, how great of a player he is. And I didn't want to come here tonight and bore everybody, and I didn't want to bore myself by saying the same thing. So I was like, what can I say that I haven't said? And I came up with 5 things, 5 quotes that I've never said publicly. And tonight you guys are going to be blessed with hearing these 5 statements. First one, I told you so. I told you so. And there's 3 examples here. Bear with me. So my first year at UMass, as Clay said, the program was broken. The one thing we had going for us was Cale Makar. I did not know Cale. When I accepted the job from Ryan Bamford, I said, yes, I'll be your head coach. Before I got that out of my mouth, he said, call Cale Makar. Call Cale Makar. The first thing you have to do. And it was the first thing that I did. And so I flew out to Brooks in his last year in junior. And it was September. I think it was a preseason game for him. He came out on the ice. And before warm-ups were over, I called one of my assistant coaches and I said, we have Erik Karlsson coming to our program. And I knew this because I coached Erik Karlsson my last 2 years in Ottawa. His skating ability, his hands, the whole package, I got really, really excited. And at that time, Cale had really blown up. He might have been a C prospect in NHL Central Scouting, but as the year went on, he went from a C to a B to an A to a first round. And then on the day he was drafted, they compared him to Erik Karlsson. So I say, I told you so. Second one, this year again, many, many interviews about Cale, and it's always, what's special about Cale? And I got a little aggressive, but I felt it was true. I said, he skates like Connor McDavid. Like he has that ability. And again, maybe an aggressive comment, but I felt comfortable in saying it. And lo and behold, 4 days ago, I'm scrolling through Twitter, and Jeremy Roenick has now declared Cale the McDavid of defensemen. So I told you so again. So there's 2. And the last example, it's 2 years ago, Cale got drafted. He was in Chicago, and our coaching staff went there to support the family, and Mario Ferraro, who was also drafted on that day. And I walk into the building in Chicago, and Ray Sherrill is a very good friend of mine. He's the general manager of the New Jersey Devils. We both played at St. Lawrence. I've known Ray forever, and they had the first pick. And Ray was the first guy I walked into the building. I see him, and I come over. I go, Ray, I don't know who else is in this draft. I don't know any of the guys who are going to go in the first round, but you need to take Cale Makar. And he laughed, and I don't know what he said. But the next time I see him, I'm going to say, I told you so. So Number 2, second quote I've never said publicly: don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again. Cale, one of the great qualities of Cale is he never wanted to be singled out among his teammates. He easily could have been. We were a very good team because we had kids like him, kids who all about team, never wanted to rise above, and it's a great quality. And so during his freshman year, I was showing video one day to the team, and I had a clip where we're coming into the offensive zone. The player has a puck. He's got 2 options. He's got a fourth liner going to the net, and he's got Cale coming late. Then he decided to pass to the fourth liner. And I said something to the effect of, give Cale the puck, good things are going to happen for us. And I probably shouldn't have done that because it went against what Cale is all about. And the next day, he respectfully, in his way, said to me, don't ever do that again. You know, he was not comfortable with that, and that was a mistake by me. But that's what Cale is. We never talked about Colorado other than what maybe they wanted him to work on his development. We never talked about the future. We never talked about anything other than UMass hockey, and he was always in the moment. And that leads me to the next quote, and this next quote is, can I have some time to think about it? Can I have some time to think about it? So it was a few days before the Frozen Four. Obviously, our season had an end to it. We were either going to play 1 or 2 more games, and then Cale's time at UMass was probably going to be over. And he was up in our offices, and I said, hey, what are you going to sign? What's going on? It's the first time I've ever gone into those waters, and I felt that maybe it was an okay time to do that. And he just a little smile, and he goes, yeah, I want to play. I want to play against Calgary. And I thought that was great. And unbeknownst to Cale, I have a picture of him that I thought was a really nice picture. And again, unbeknownst to him, I blew it up to kind of like a poster size, pretty big size. And I said, would you be, I don't know if we're going to see you again. Would you be willing to sign this for my son, Drew? Drew is 6 years old. Cale knows Drew, and Drew knows Cale. And he said, yeah, absolutely. So I gave him the photo. I went to my office, and he came back in 5 or 10 minutes, and I said, thanks, I really appreciate that. And he said, I didn't sign it. And he's like, can I have some time to think about it? And I was, all the things he did, that's one of the more impressive things to me. He could have easily put a trait, good luck, Drew, signed his name, been done with it. But that's not what he did. He wanted some time because he wanted to say the right thing. He wanted it to be quality, and he wanted it to have an lasting impact. And to me, that was a microcosm of what he did for UMass hockey. He didn't come to UMass and use us as a stepping stone and fly through his time. He wanted his time to be quality. He wanted it to have a lasting impact. And it's exactly what he did. And we're so grateful to have him as part of our program, not just because of the hockey player. Absolutely amazing individual. And so can I have some time to think about it? That's how Cale lives his life. That's how his parents have taught him to live his life. He was a fourth overall pick. Every pro scout couldn't wait to tell me this line, oh, you'll never see him at UMass. Yeah, you'll never see him. Well, he came to UMass. And then it was, oh, he's never coming back for a second year. Never. He came back for a second year. Cale is refreshing in that he's not in a rush to get to the next level, and there's very few people like that left in today's world. And again, he has perspective, and it makes him, to me, a very unique individual. The next quote is, I hope Cale Makar will forever be my son's idol and role model. I worked in the NHL for a long time. I've worked with elite athletes, elite people, really good people, and Cale, to me, has separated himself from that group. And I'm really grateful that my son has a connection with Cale. Again, he's 6 years old, but he knows Cale, and Cale knows him. And one of the things that I really enjoy that not too many people know is that when I take him to play hockey, when he's done, and we come into the locker room, he'll scan the room. If he sees a mirror, he rips off his helmet and he runs over to the mirror and he'll say, "Look, Dad, my cheeks are red just like Cale's." and I think that's awesome. Just awesome. And so through the spring, Cale's games were on a little too late for both of us. So I'd record the games, and the next day we'd watch them, and we'd wait till Cale would get the puck, and Drew would cheer and scream, and it was just a lot of fun. And so Drew knows that Cale's a really good hockey player. What Drew doesn't yet realize is that Cale is humble, he's respectful, he's generous with his time, he lives life with integrity, high morals, and principles. All characteristics I hope that my son someday has. And the last quote that I've never said publicly, and I'm glad I get a chance to tonight, is "Thank you, Cale, thank you, Gary, and thank you, Laura." As you all heard, UMass was in a real bad shape 3 years ago. They went through a coaching change. Cale was recruited by the previous coaching staff, and he could have easily changed his commitment. I know a number of schools were asking him to do that. I never asked him why. He stuck with UMass, but my guess is that commitment and integrity are really important values to the Makar family. So, fine, just to close this up here, Cale, thank you for helping rebuild the broken college hockey program. Thank you for being a seemingly flawless teammate and a tremendous representative of our university. Thank you for your generosity and kindness to our fans. Thank you for your leadership and our team's common purpose of commanding respect. Thank you for not rushing to the NHL and being mature enough to know that you weren't quite ready and you went at the right time. It's a great example for college hockey players this day. You're a special young man. Gary and Laura, it takes great parents to raise great kids. I tell my kids that every day. And it's been my honor to coach you, Cale. A genuine treat for me to watch you skate, compete, and play hockey for the last 2 years. I can't imagine there's been a more deserving winner of this award. Thank you very much. Congratulations.